Hey, what's going on, Dodgers Nation? D-Mac here. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. We've got Dodgers outfield grades. We're going to talk about Mookie's contract, A.J. Pollock's contract, and will Cody Bellinger have a bounce back here in 2022? But quick reminder for all latest Dodgers news and rumors, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you're going to see us post even more Dodgers content, smash that like button. And as always, I want your takes down below in the comment section. Today's Dodgers Nation question of the day. Give me your grades for the Dodgers 2021 outfielders, and give me one word to describe Mookie's, Belly's, and A.J. Pollock's 2021 season. Let me know down below, and for all latest Dodgers news, head over to DodgersNation.com. So the report cards are in, and we're handing out grades to the 2021 Dodgers outfielders.
Here's my report card. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Now, before we get to the grades, let's run down the grading scale real quick. A equals elite, B equals baller, C equals average, D equals dude, get it together, and F equals hashtag failing. Now, first we're going to start with A.J. Pollock. He had a really nice season in 2021, and we're going to throw out his grade in just a second. But first, let's take a deep dive into his numbers and see just how good of a season he had last year. So 2021 was A.J. Pollock's breakout season for the Dodgers. He ended up slashing .297, .355, .536. He had 21 dingers, scored 53 runs, had 69 ribbies, 9 stolen bases, a 137 WRC plus, a 3 F-WAR, and he had some really incredible games in 2021. Pollock went loco against the Brew Crew on May 2nd when he hit 2 home runs, he had a double, and finished with 8 RBIs. He became the 7th Dodger in history to have 8 RBIs in a game, and the first since Adrian Gonzalez on August 22nd, 2016. He also went off against the Arizona Diamondbacks. On July 7th, he reached base all 6 times he went to the plate. He homered twice, he singled twice, and took 2 walks, and he was incredible from July 1st up until the end of the season. He slashed .330, .391, .624, had a .422 WOBA, a 168 WRC plus, hit 15 home runs, had 44 RBIs, and he was posting for the Dodgers. He was in that lineup, but unfortunately, he did suffer a hamstring injury in early September, and he had to miss most of September. But he did come back earlier than expected and was able to get some games in before the Dodgers started their postseason run, and that was my big takeaway from 2021. Yes, he had a really nice regular season, but he came through in October. In the postseason for the Dodgers, he slashed .314, .333, .600, hit 2 home runs, 7 runs scored, had 9 ribbies, and he silenced a lot of his critics that said that, oh, he's playoff P. He doesn't get it done on the big stage. So it was nice to see him come through in the clutch. Even though the Dodgers weren't able to go all the way, that was big for Pollock moving forward, and hopefully he builds on that momentum and comes through, because he's really turning into one of the best contracts in Major League Baseball, with A.J. Pollock providing so much pop down the order for the Dodgers. Now, what was my favorite A.J. Pollock moment from the 2021 season? It wasn't the grand slams. It wasn't the pimp job he did after hitting those bombs against the Braves. It was him robbing Manny Machado of a home run in San Diego. I'm telling you, I'm calling it the Mosh curse. Manny Machado's curse until he pays Mosh that $300 million that he promised he'd give him after the Dodgers won the World Series before the Padres. No, but for his year in 2021, I'm giving Pollock a B+. When you consider the role he has on this team, a B+. He's a baller. And next up is Mr. MLB, Marcus Lynn Betts. And it was a down year for Mookie in 2021. But just how down was it? Well, let's take a look at his numbers. By his lofty standards, it was a down year in 2021 for Mookie Betts. He slashed .264, .367, .487, hit 23 home runs, scored 93 runs, had 58 RBIs, 10 stolen bases. His ISO power was down from .269 in 2020 to .223 in 2021. His WOBA went from .390 last year to .365 this year. You also see that BABIP drop from .289 down to .276. He finished with a 131 WRC plus, which isn't terrible. It was 7th among big league right fielders, but it was his lowest since 2017. His 41.3% hard hit rate was the lowest it's been since 2017. And he didn't just have a down year at the plate in 2021. His defense defensive numbers were down as well. He had a +4 defensive run save. That was 5th for big league right fielders. Duvall was first at +9, but Mookie had led the league for right fielders in DSR for 4 of the last 5 seasons. Now, why were Mookie's numbers down in 2021? Well, you have to mention the injuries, because he dealt with a slew of injuries the entire year. He was banged up. He was playing through injuries. He was dealing with a bad back. He had the shoulder injury. If you remember, he got hit by a pitch against the Mariners in the forearm. And then the big one was the hip injury. He had that right hip pointer that sent Mookie Betts to the IL for the first time since 2018, and that right hip soreness was bothering him the entire season. It was so bad that he had to receive a cortisone shot just to stay on the field. Now, the good news is that the shot was effective. It took away the pain that he was experiencing, and after the shot, he told reporters, "This is the first time in a long time I've felt normal. I feel normal now. I feel like the beginning of spring training now. There's no pain at all or anything. Hopefully, I can stay on this path and I'll be perfectly fine." And by the time the postseason rolled around, Mookie Betts was starting to look and play like Mookie Betts. He slashed .319, .377, .404 in the postseason against the Cardinals in the wild card game. He goes 2 for 4 with 2 singles, and then he was excellent in the NLDS. In the NLDS, he slashed .450, .455, .600, had a 1,055 OPS. You started to see those highlight defensive plays, those defensive throws when he gunned down Wilmer Flores in Game 2, and then he had that 4-hit game in the clincher, so he was fantastic in that series. Now, the NLCS, not so much. In 6 games against the Braves, he slashed .174, .296, .217, had an opportunity to come through there in Game 6, and he went down swinging. But look, by most players' standards, Mookie had a nice year. He even made the All-Star team, had an .854 OPS, had the 23 home runs, but we're talking about Mookie Betts, one of the best players in the game when he's right. And it was really all about those injuries, had the nagging ones, even missed a game due to an allergic reaction. So even though it was a nice season, it definitely wasn't his best season in 2021. So look, it wasn't a bad year. It just wasn't a vintage Mookie Betts season. I want to see a 2018 Mookie Betts season for the Dodgers. I want to see him vie for the National League MVP next year. I want to see him get close to 1,000 OPS, hopefully over that. And my big question is Mookie Betts still elite? And we'll see next year, because I do think there could be some pressure on him if he doesn't stay on the field, if he does have some injuries and has an underwhelming season. Will people start talking about that $365 million contract? Look, I think Mookie, if he's healthy, I think he's going to have a good year next year. I've seen him put in a lot of work this offseason, and I'm very excited about him in 2022. Now, as far as his grade for the 2021 season, I'm going to give him a B for Betts. He's still a baller, but I do want to see him get back to that MVP caliber player, get back to being among the game's ultra elite, and I think that Mookie Betts wants to get there as well, too. I think that the injuries were very frustrating for him, and I just hope that he can stay on the field and that nothing serious happens with that hip and he doesn't have to undergo surgery. But next, we have Cody Bellinger. So it was an awful year for Cody Bellinger, but just how bad was it? Well, you know I bring my facts to the fight, so let's take a deep dive into his 2021 season. It was a nightmare of a season for Cody Bellinger in 2021. He posted career lows across the board. He slashed .165, .240, .302, had 10 home runs, 39 runs, 36 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, had an awful 48 WRC plus, a negative .0.8 F4, a negative .1.5 B WAR. And look, we were already concerned about Belly heading into the 2021 season after undergoing off-season shoulder surgery, but the injury bug just sank its teeth into Cody Bellinger. He played just 7 games in April and May. He suffered a hairline fracture in his leg in the 4th game of the season, and right when it looked like he was starting to get it going towards the end of June, he suffered another injury. He dealt with that hamstring injury, and I truly believe that walk-off home run against the Cubs, that was starting to be the turning point, but he did have that setback. And then Gavin Lux runs into him in the outfield, and he suffered a rib injury. So it was just an awful regular season for Cody Bellinger, but one thing he did right during the regular season is he decided to cut his hair. When it was buzz cut belly, things started to turn around, and he really got it going in the postseason. In October, for the Dodgers, he ended up slashing .353, .436, .471, had had 1 home run, scored 5 runs, had 7 ribbies, and 5 stolen bases. He was also Cody clutch. He had the base hit that ended up being the game-winning base hit in Game 5 of the NLDS against the San Francisco Giants. And then the Dodgers were saved by the belly in Game 3 of the NLCS against the Braves, where he hits the game-tying 3-run shot. The Dodgers go on to win that game. They did lose the series, but a big moment for Belly. And then if you want to go all the way back to the wild card game, he draws that walk in the bottom of the 9th against the Cardinals. He steals second, and he gets the bat to Chris Taylor so he can hit that walk-off shot. So we saw Cody clutch. He has some momentum heading into the 2022 season. It's just about continuing to rebuild the strength in that shoulder. And look, we've heard guys talk about how it takes 2 seasons. The Adrian Gonzalez's, the Chase Ullys. There's plenty of examples of guys that it's taken some time to get their swing and their power back. And at times last year, it just looked like his power was sapped. But I'm really excited about Bellinger and hopefully a bounce-back Belly season in 2022. Now, you guys know that I'm a Belly-ever. I love me some Cody Bellinger. I'm really excited about the momentum he built in the 2021 season. I think it does carry over into 2022. I hope he keeps that buzz cut and doesn't grow out the hair. Also, he's going to have that dad strength, and also hopefully he has more strength back in that shoulder. But for his regular season, I have to keep it 100. I'm going to give him a D, dude, get it together, but I'll give him an A for the postseason. The clutch Cody, everything he was able to do for the Dodgers, but I'm excited about him for next season. But give me your grades down below in the comment section, and also give me your one word to describe the seasons of Mookie Betts, AJ Pollock, and Cody Bellinger. Let me know down below. My name is D-Mac. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you want to see us post even more Dodgers content, smash that like button. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.